Now I'm going to give a full read-through again of the same book I'm working on, so the whole thing so far. The Deaconist came from a land half-born. She'd long ago all aborted caravans into the cities and towns, where within open doors led into dim-lit rooms, in which statues breathing fire held the moon in their hands, reading somnic poems much older than time or place did record. And the Deaconess gave and took from idealism's brides and grooms necklace crosses, old forged and kilned. From heaven's warm gates the starry night wrapped her shoulders round, with the very same quilt her mother had all aborted and homeward carried from the winding stream Lazarean proclamated. The Apologist traveled day and night, until he came to the flickering light of the night's last star. How far, he asked the slowly fading starlight, should I rail, walk, and carriage wheel roll until I find the place where all the people my words have wounded will forgive me. You must find the silver and brass castle they call quintessence. It beats its multitudinous heart within and without all who've ever lived. The star suddenly brightened her shimmering diamond orb, and two sweethearts by the pasture gates, and very much in love, kissed one another passionately, doing for each other day and night what only love may accomplish. The lantern-jawed, deep well-water-eyed pasture-to seedsman leaned against his plow, as lovers of every age filled his rolling fields with dance, song, and smooching all day long, and they all said to one another, "Where's Lauren, the singing angel with the heart of gold? Where are all the hippies and yippies that will forgive the versing tin-capped poet for his crueler life's moments?" The furious bull in Sinbad's clickety-clacking carriage-winged china closet undecided his iceberging ires and looped a ring of praying all around the grass-belathered pasture, lay across the water-spouting fountained land, a labyrinth of unmonogamizable trilogies, dawn, noonday, and midnight medallioned, who sitting by the nearest water-gushing fountain told the gathered people post-war proverbials of long-awaited peace that the nearing morrow might bring to actuality, and the nearing morrow was sitting with the prince of pirateering, bringers of joyous prayer, gifts, and daily thanksgiving, by a group of tin-hatted unicorns dismantling Noah's Ark by the nearing morrow book of mercy and kindly book of shelves, and the prince of pirateering, bringers of joy, elucidated thus to the minister of squash pie crest miles and miles of journalogued smiles. It was you to assemble into quartet. I want you to assemble into quartet juxtaposition a cornucopia of silver-nosed stallion riding peace for all lords who inhabit the cliffs of Showboat Mountain, and I would very much, without any heaviness of heart, like you to dichotomize lies with truths and start building silver camels for Lady Rita of the coastal rustics to bring among us factually fabled and myth-be Naples, Italy, Celtic and loyal royal father Lord Pepe and Meme by the ever-rolling Bay-Cup tide. Fabrici, 15th century discoverer of the semi-lunar valves of living veins, having centuries previous to the time and place concerning with joyous congress the cyclic orbitudes this tale equatorializes. North and South poles, and raising among the chaplet choir chanticleers Germanic to the sacred Hildegard, conducted studies of human and mammalian embryology, and Fabricus of Germanic personaged climatudes, carried into knowing light of 15th century day his profound epistemology of the planet Mars, as well as discovering the variable star Mira in constellations Cetus, while he, a prodigal son, is even now credited with the discovery of sunspots, as well as curious jurisprudent circulations omnipotently particular to our own axis orbiting sun. The same Roman soldiering ear the sacred Son of Man had drawn back into place 15 centuries earlier, built with fire-breathed hammer, thread, and brass manifold nails, a dynasty of temples, the bell towers above which were circled, squared, and triangulated with peoples east, west, north, and southernmost of the dreadlocked climatudes that carried onto dry land from all Mother Oceania the first men and women to walk among fertile sands, opulent rolling gardens, and spacious wide opens of field, meadow, vineyard, and stream bejewels, dividing the 10-tabled overseeing mountains, shading through and across the uninfrastructurable industry of fire, earth, and depthless waters, brought back and forth from village markets to Kabul, just the morrowing prophetic Isaiah. The rootless highlanders forged, smelted, and ides of March put myriad blades to vein, artery, and capillary, crisscross blades from warring sword, preparing swift and certain descent from the steeplit crags, intricate tunneled caves and rock-hewn flats, checkering fore and aft the tents of brick-stacked thatch, frequently left behind. Falconet, pupil of Lemoyne, executing a brass plate statue of Peter the Great at St. Petersburg among numerous other busts, stepped forth from the locomotive mists mailing fore and aft the ruination rising dynastic from timeless clay, belonging to one and all, and reinvented the game of chess and brought to pass the Pauline missives, walking dark horse and unchronicled by most. His still life's portraitured in metallurgic psaltery, prodigious breezed and mark stone wreathed. Dante's Beatrice made unemperor the streets, watched from terraces above the Deaconist, Apologist, pasture farmer, and simple jeweled mother. Mithridates 6 Eupator had defeated, and likewise been defeated by the Roman Empire, was driven out of Pontus. Louis Pasteur, the professor of physics at Dijon and Strasbourg, among other agencies of personage, time, and place, was born unto Mithradists, and Joan of Arc in a flaxseed roofed artisan hut alongside a stream of fucking lacuna. And although whatever was omitted from that particular place and time as well unbecame the graped and sundialed vine through which the many children born to other ages played sports, studied all the varied sciences of the transportation networks, all aborted by many silk-skirted deaconists. The Deaconist had one husband alone. She was the bride of universal idealists of occult Orient mythologica and primitive art and luminosity. All of these peoples inhabited the low-lying province at the time of which I speak, of Danes or Ornacadia, Samic, earthen sands and clays, an eastern seaboard port, the shipwrights of which claved, hulminated, and stone-polished the vessels of starlit passage, exporting as well as importing factionlessly infinite articulations, wax-sculpted, percussivated, reinvented, demarcated, and shaped into ungovernable solidity of elemental winglet shape and form, the vivid presence of which seeming almost to draw a living breath from the very ears, tangling and unknotting before them, a half-day's traversing inroad along the signposted cobble and dirt-paved paths to the Deaconist and the Apologist, now having changed his name to no Quiestria Almanask, found themselves walking the streets of a city known for its intricate wealth of above-ground and underground tunnels, rooms and passageways coexisting with one another and occupying one another's spacious areas of prefix, interior, affix, and anterior. Not Quiestria Almanask and the long train-skirted Deaconists found themselves a few or 3 days thereunto following, living in an underground labyrinth of constant vertigo triage and wheel-to-wing intrigues of mystery and myth wove of a form of matter that was transient, self-reflective, and translucent enough to be seen through. And that brings to probably the end of chapter 1 of my new novel. And so there we have it. And I hope you all enjoyed this epic chronicle of the lives of a few historical figures, and many I will invent along the way. And God bless everybody, and peace and love and prosperity. It's a wonderful day to go fishing, swimming, hiking, biking, boating, canoeing, reading masterpieces, novels of Proustian, Beckian, and avoiding Sigmund Freud, and maybe reading Carl Jung, and avoiding William Faulkner. I don't know. Who knows? And, so I hope everybody's doing well. God bless and peace and love. And I'll be back shortly with more of this continuing saga of strange and odd characters and folding passages and tunnels that disappear into thin air and everything else.